My girlfriend just bought this 2012 Abarth 500. It's got 37,000 Ks on it and full dealer service history. But that isn't gospel when it comes to knowing whether things have been changed as they should be. So I always like to start off on the ground floor with a new second-hand car and go through all the key things and then follow the recommended service intervals from that point forward. We're going to run you through the process. First cab off the rank for our Abarth 500 is a spark plug change. So I've got in front of me a set of 4 NGK Iridium spark plugs. The great thing about NGK, and the reason I've picked them, is besides the standard NGK quality that you all have come to expect from them, they manufacture each spark plug for each individual application rather than blanketing a group of cars with one plug that may not be adequate for some of them, as well as coming pre-gapped. Now I always check the gap of a spark plug before I install it, but it is good having peace of mind knowing that the one comes out of the box has been checked by NGK. That's a running motor. Okay, pump it up. Hold. Beauty. Fluid's good. All right, and that's it. We don't have to change that fluid. It's good. You have these little checkers here. It gives you a millimeter measurement of the brake pad. It can vary quite a bit. However, general rule of thumb, anything under 4 mil I would start considering replacing. 2 mil I would call urgent. The brake pads generally start around 10 millimeters. It can vary a bit. Always be sure to check the back brake pad as well, because they can wear unevenly if slides are seized. We have 10 millimeters. Perfect. So now we're done. Yeah, 1 second it says. It's fantastic. The coolant is basically new. There you go. Quick and easy check. Now, engine oil is a crucial component. I know I don't need to tell you guys that. And we have a huge range of engine oils to suit every application on our website. When changing your own oil, however, make sure that you refer to your owner's manual or the various lube guides available online from each brand, and make sure you use the oil that is recommended for your vehicle. Not just the viscosity rating, but to the standards that that oil meets as well, because that can be very imperative. So when a nut or a bolt is less than ideal in condition, while it's not rounded, if I was to put a multi-hex on that, I reckon it would slip pretty easy. You need a single hex socket. These give a much better bite and they'll have a much smaller chance of rounding. I'm ready. All right. So nice and easy, didn't round or anything. Alrighty, I'm gonna gracefully do this without spilling a drop on my hand. Now that I've said it, it won't come true. There we go, see? Contrary to popular belief, oil being dark in color is not necessarily a bad thing. It simply means that the engine oil has done its job and all the contaminants are now held within the oil rather than forming sludge in your engine. This is why we change the oil, to drain it out when it's full of contaminants and replace it with oil that's fresh and not full of contaminants. This car was about 3,000 Ks away from a service, so it was getting close to its due date. So it is pretty dark, but it's certainly not something to deter you from a car. It's not an indicator of the car's health as to how clear the oil is. All right, so something worth mentioning is when you're doing a transmission fluid change, undo both plugs before you remove any one plug. I've had it before. You've taken the drain plug out, you started to drain it, then you go to the fill plug and it's stripped or rounded and you can't get it out. And then you kind of had no choice but to go on this long, arduous task of solving the problem. So open both and make sure you can actually fill the transmission after you drain it. Okay, if the level was correct, fluid would come out of there. Also worth mentioning, if you can't identify the fill and drain points on your transmission, check with someone who knows, find the relevant information, because I have seen people undo the wrong bolt, be it the bolt that holds in the detent ball and spring. So be sure of what you're doing before you embark on it. Subtle stab at one of our former employees. Thanks, Viet. Do you know if you pour it sideways, it comes out smooth? So if you want to find out how to service your own car in a little more detail, head to the video in the corner of the image to watch Sam service an old Honda. Sweet. All right, after coming back from a road test in the A-bath, I'm really happy with the car, giving a final once over to make sure everything's still great. It is. If anything, the gearbox feels a little bit better, which is fantastic, not to say that it felt bad before at all. Having done all these key items, I now know that I can stick to Fiat's recommended service schedule and not have any question or doubt in the back of my mind about some of these items being changed in its previous services. If you want to pick up any of the items we used in this video, head to sparesbox.com.au.